Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Pickles and Pasta with
Steph.
and Jay. I like the with it.
Yay!
I don't know. You think I should have been an MC? Like that should have been my career path? I don't think so.
Hmm. I
I could.
don't. I mean, you have the voice for it,
I have the
you
face
know.
for. I have a good face for radio.
So you've told me a few times.
It's a joke that is older than you are,
Yes.
not older than I am. So I know we said we're not going to talk about weather, but we are going to talk about weather. Like 20 degrees a few days ago and 50 degrees today. Gorgeous snow the other day. Gorgeous. Gone. All gone.
Yeah. Boo hoo. I wanted to traipse in the snow in New York City and go to a little corner bar, and I have the one picked out,
I know. I'm
but
excited.
we have not had the snow yet to do it.
I know. And as much as I'm not a big drinker, certainly not anymore. Yeah,
You're going to come
I
with
would
me.
do it. I would do 100%. I would do it for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, if it happens, we're doing it.
Yeah. And we'll record it. But it's just not happening. I mean, they did threaten. They threatened that we were going to have a bad winter.
Well, there's time. There's still time. Maybe they just mean it's going to be freezing cold and you're going to be in pain. I mean, anytime you walk out into the real world.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the weather. That's to do. That's to do with the climate.
Oh,
That has to do with the not temperature climate. That has to do with the mental and insanity climate of the planet. That
that's for
yes,
sure.
you walk outside and you are just in pain. So
I think it's more like just waking up and you're in pain. You don't even need to go outside
yeah, but
because
I listen. I just had a call with a nice guy that you met him once briefly. He's working on this. He's working. God bless him. He had a good idea for an app or platform that he was working on. He made a slight little pivot. It's working. He's doing good. He's working. I like the guy. Admire the guy. And we had that exact conversation. How are you doing? Startup. How are you doing? And we both were like, yeah, I could sit here and I can complain about all this stuff. And yeah, there's some really bad shit going on. Really, really, really bad shit going on. But you know, first of all, I get to be with you, so win for me. I sleep indoors. I eat every day. I mean, that's my own fault if I don't eat. It's not that I can't eat every day. I mean, sure I could complain, but first of all, that would be obnoxious in my opinion, and second of all, I'm blessed. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what we've got. So you know,
I hear you. No, I agree too. I mean, you hear things every day that are things I would not like to have in my world, and they're in other people's world. So I'm just going to be really grateful as well.
yeah. I mean, look, we have. We're not gonna mention any names or anything like that, but we have a few people in our lives. Some that we're close with, some that we're not so close with, but are in our circles, and I've had some really bad shit. I mean, really bad shit. People dying, people
Yeah.
having really, 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 really serious injuries. I mean, friends of mine that have parents or relatives that are, in really bad, like really stressful, really bad stuff. And
Yeah.
it's
That's true.
horrible. It's
It is true.
horrible. It's horrible,
Yeah.
So, you gotta, I mean, listen, no, nothing is guaranteed. No days are guaranteed, and
Yeah.
so, but that being said, I do think we all could work a little bit harder and a little bit more, just being more nice to each other and being more calm about situations and working on getting along and not fighting all the time. And, I think we all could still work on that. Just because we're good doesn't mean we can't be great, So
Yeah. No.
anyway, that's what I think. That's what I think. I don't know. Maybe we're getting a little sentimental or whatever. End of the year and all this sort of stuff, and holidays and ho ho ho, and I didn't see Hanukkah Harry this year. A little, you
I
don't.
have no idea who that is.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot you never watched. You didn't watch Saturday Night Live.
Oh.
So they did.
I mean, I watched it once in a while, but I wasn't religious. So Saturday Night Live, I have to watch it.
Yeah,
I was usually
no,
out.
but right. But so you're going out and my going out were very different. So for me, I could
Yes.
still
Very different.
catch the good part of Saturday Night Live, which was usually up until Weekend Update, and after that, it was pretty much all downhill. I could
Yeah.
easily stay in for that and go out, and I was golden because I'd still
Yeah.
that would get me to a club at 12:30, 12:45, 1, which was right around my good arrival time. I mean, they would know that was Jay's. What time is it? Oh, Jay's gone. He must be on his way. So yeah,
That's
rolling
crazy.
rolling in at 1 was about is the way it should be.
Yeah, I was rolling home around 1.
That's I mean, I wish you would have stayed if I was there, but the people that left early were good, like good, because now we can have fun. So yeah, so I did catch that. But so they did a Hanukkah Harry, a Hanukkah Harry. They said Hanukkah Harry, which was a guy, a Jewish, like Hasidic guy dressed, and he was friends with Santa Claus, of course, and they helped each other. So they went to all the Jewish boys and girls and all the Christian boys and girls, and they worked together, and they would eat latkes, and
That's
they would
cute.
all different foods. It was hilarious. It was, I think,
That's cute.
I can't
I
think of
never
who it
heard of that.
was. I can't remember if it was John Lovitz. I can't remember who the guy was. It was somebody. It was really funny. It was just, and it was, Sandler did right. He does the Hanukkah song. He's done like 3 versions of it or whatever. And but
Yeah, that's
before
cute.
before that stuff, it's the truth. For Jewish kids growing up, there just wasn't anything, and you do feel uncomfortable this time of year. Like it's a really weird feeling. Like you really
Yeah,
feel.
I'm sorry.
No, no, no. You don't have to be sorry. I'm not. Please
No,
don't.
I'm just like, that's too bad. And when I say
It's
that,
just a
that's
weird feeling. Like because
yeah,
Hanukkah is Hanukkah, and if you don't know Hanukkah, if you don't celebrate Hanukkah, it's really like it's a great holiday. Like it's a really great holiday. Like it's yes, of course, it was a miracle and blah blah blah. And yeah, they tried to kill us. Yeah, yeah, okay, we get it. But it's like this. You light candles and you sing songs. It's like you don't have to go to synagogue. Like as a kid, you don't have to go to synagogue for like 4 hours. Like it's chill. You come home at night, you light the candles, did some songs, we played some games. We had latkes, we had chocolate, we had jelly donuts. Like it was like a fun holiday without a lot of stress. Like it's really like a good one. It's like a good holiday. And we had that and it's lovely, it's beautiful, but then Christmas Day comes and like in a Jewish neighborhood, if you're in a Jewish person living in a not an entirely Jewish community, which is most of Jewish people, it's different. Like it's quiet. Like nothing's open. Like it's a very you just feel very like disconnected. It's just you feel
yeah,
it's a weird feeling. It's a very very weird feeling.
weird.
So we didn't have the Christian kids or the Gentile kid. They had Santa Claus, they had the elves, they had Mrs. Claus, they had a figure like
They had a whole fairy tale.
they had something, yeah, and we didn't. We had like an actual biblical story, or pat biblical, whatever. We had an actual story that we were celebrating, and that's fine. But it's different to have like an ancient person that's a hero as opposed to Santa Claus who's at Macy's, like he's here or he's at that mall. So it's just a little different. It's just a little different experience. So look, I think for a lot of people this time of year, and it kind of leads us into our first topic, like you think about it, right? At the end of the year. I mean, for me, and we've talked about this, like, I'm not into this, oh, it's a new year and you know, January 1st, December 30th, January 38th. Like, it's the same. I know January 38th, it's my favorite day of the year. But it's just, it's the same. It's the same. It's something that we put on ourselves about like, I'm going to work out. I'm going to get that job. I'm going to do, why can't you do that now? Why do you have to wait? Why does that new year thing have to do? I won't.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it, but I don't get it.
I like it. I actually feel somehow refreshed or renewed in fall, like in September and in January. I do feel it. I don't know if it's probably just psychological for me. I like it's almost like a reminder, like a fresh start reminder.
So
I like
if someone or you told me, well, December 21st, I start to feel a change. Okay, that's different. Like we're talking about a solstice, right? We're talking about okay, that's
yeah.
different.
Mhm.
I'm talking about that very specific. Like we got to close this deal by the end of the year. We got to make this thing happen by the. We have to do. No, you don't. Like
Oh,
That's
yeah.
something we've
Yeah, I
convinced
don't feel that,
we've
no.
convinced ourselves of these things, and I just I don't buy into it. I don't buy into it. I think if you want to change, you want to do something, you can do it any day of the year you want. It's within everyone's power to do that, in my
Mhm.
opinion. So
But we're lazy. We're lazy people.
fair, fair. Yeah, that's well. Yeah, that's true.
Not us. We're not
No, no,
lazy.
no, no. I don't. I don't. This listen. People can call at least me a lot of names. Lazy's not one I think I've been called ever. I don't think I've ever heard that one. I've heard a lot of names.
I'm
some,
sure.
some that I won't. Well, do you have to agree that quickly? I don't. Not that I'm going to mention any on this. Well, we're R-rated, so I could probably say anything anyway. But so I'm going to start off. I mean, I kind of that was kind of leading us in a little bit, not on purpose. It just kind of worked out that way. I guess I'm getting better at this. Our first topic was what this year asked of us and what stayed. So I'm going to let you go first because these are your topics. So I'm going to let you roll, and I'll jump in. I'll jump in occasionally. I promise I'll jump in, and I will hopefully have something interesting to say.
You hope I have something interesting to
No,
say.
I hope I have something. Me, no, I know you'll have something interesting. But don't relax. Don't throw me in the doghouse without me even saying anything. No, I
No,
said I hope I will have something interesting to say.
yeah. So what this year asked of us. I just feel like this was like a pivotal year. I don't know how you felt about it and you can explain, but for me, I felt like this year was kind of beating home what is not working in your life. And it's just this message has been repeated over and over and over again, like all year. And it's almost like I wanted to say, okay, already. I can see a lot of things aren't working. I know a lot has to go. It was almost like I was having a dialogue with some, you know, the year guardian angel. And so I'm I'm grateful for this past year and I think how I showed up to kind of face some things that I really needed to put closure on and I was determined to put closure on. And I think that if we can do that in a healthy way, like just in our lives in general, like to be able to identify things that aren't working and not to drag them on for endlessly, I think that we can just kind of not waste so much energy doing things that aren't going anywhere. So that's kind of what I mean when I say, you know, this whole thing about what stayed with us. So what stayed with me was like knowing that this was the year that there are several things that I'm finished putting my energy into.
Business, personal, everything, right?
Well, I think it's whatever's the loudest. Like for me, what was very loud was some business things, like with Have Some Fun Today. I knew for the past couple of years that I wanted to pivot the brand and I just wasn't quite sure how to tackle that, because I think there's a lot of things that get caught up into our daily lives. I think we kind of identify with things that we do for work and then our identity gets caught up in it and then we kind of like feel a little trapped. And I think I really just had to come to terms in the past 2 years with how I felt about that. And then this whole year, it was really working through a plan that felt right for me. And, you and I obviously do this together. So it was like a lot of back and forth of our dialogue about how it should go. And we didn't always like agree, but we worked through, the plan. And I'm really actually I just feel like a whole weight has been lifted off my shoulders and I'm starting to feel energized about, you know, once we get into 2026 obviously I have a lot of things going on with my art because I know you're laughing at me because you
I'm not
think
laughing at
that's
you.
fun, but like going into 2026, I already have an art show that's already up that I'll be taking down, and then I'll be preparing to set up a really even a much bigger show, like four times as big. So even though like that's more my art stuff, the have some fun today stuff is gonna be kind of filtered into all that. And I think just like not focusing on that so much is going to help me like naturally, because that's kind of how I work creatively. It's like I can't be pressured. It has to come when it comes. And even though I hold it in my head and, I can focus on it a little bit, like it's like my brain will just, it'll churn out answers. And I don't really understand why I work that way, but it's like incubating. All of the ideas that I have are inside of me. They just need time to kind of percolate and marinate. And then at some point, they just come flooding out. And so I think that that's what this year was for me.
And you feel it was a year to kind of get you to kind of see the things that don't belong, shift you more towards the things that do belong, get your energy going in the right direction. So you have that energy, your emotional energy, and
Yeah.
that you have the physical energy now to kind of do things, whatever, differently, and you feel that that's staying.
I think it's like almost like cleaning out your closet.
Right. And do you feel things were the year brought things to you, or the year asked things of you that you're like, okay, no, like it asked and you're like, that's not for me, or do you feel not really,
Um,
not so much?
yeah, I mean, I think that definitely happens. Like, and if I put on my "Have Some Fun Today" hat on, there were a lot of things coming to me about "Have Some Fun Today," but I had already really decided that I needed to shift how I was doing things with the brand. So even though certain things were coming to me, I knew that they weren't for me. And I was more comfortable saying no to certain things that were around that. And then personally, I think this year was also had some real personal revelations because I've been working with a therapist up until really just this past month. And that was going on for many years, which was incredibly helpful to me. And I'm still going to be obviously checking in with my therapist, but it's not going to be, every other week. We're kind of taking a break from that. But I think the tools that I gained from, working with her and especially over this past year were pivotal for me.
Right.
I think that it was really where I could start to implement a lot of the tools that she gave me over the past 5 years. And so I think there was some closure on some lingering things that I was really intent on figuring out and working on.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, there's no question. I mean, you've been kind of going through a lot of things for a number of years, and navigating through that and trying to find balance. And it's tricky. I mean, it's kind of, we've talked about these things differently before, about creativity and business, how they come together, how they get in the way, how life comes in the way, but you still have to do stuff. And it's hard to have energy all the time. It's hard to be motivated every day when this happens or that happens or you get sidetracked. So I think certainly I've seen with you, you've certainly put in the work. You put in a lot of effort into kind of blocking out the noise and kind of not letting the things that used to really get you, like they might get you at the first second, because it's like an annoying thing, but you've kind of found a way to kind of realize, okay, I'm not going to let that take all my energy. I'm not going to let that ruin my day. I'm on a good path in these things. This thing that happened, it's okay. It's maybe a hiccup, or it's a little mosquito bite, but no, I'm good. And I think that that comes from time. You've put a lot of work into it. I think maybe this year was kind of like that. That's what was coming at you. You'd be like, okay, you've done the work. All right, let's see. It's like your training wheels kind of were coming off a little bit, and now
Yeah.
it's like, okay. And I think when that happens, it's easier to make decisions. It's easier to make decisions and be confident in the decisions that you're making, that you're moving in the right direction. So,
Yeah. I mean, I would say that if I could sum it up into like a sentence or a couple words, like this, what stayed with me this year was like myself. Like, I think I came into myself more this year in a very healthy way.
that's fair. Okay, good. Well, happy
What
for
about you?
happy
I
for you.
mean,
Happy
and
for yourself.
like for you and this year, like, were there any themes that you feel like stayed with you and, solidified anything that you've been working on?
Um, I mean, I don't really look at things like that, so it's a little bit different. I mean, look, I feel on a very regular basis, and whatever the reasons behind that, spirituality or whatever, I feel all the different signs and signals that are sent to me. I just it's a constant thing of something happens that I may really not like, and I know exactly why it's here. I know I can feel it. Like something happens that can put me in like a really rotten mood, or it can, whatever it can do, sidetrack me, stop me, and I'm like, and I can feel it, and I just feel it, and I'm like, okay. So there's certainly things that are guiding me always into where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing, and the things I'm supposed to be doing for others. I still think I have a shit ton of work to do. I just think there's a lot more I could do, a lot more that I could be doing, for others, for you, for your businesses or our businesses that we have together, and for lots of people in my world that I know I could be doing more for them, and more that I could be doing for the universe that I'm just not doing as well as I could. I'm just not. And so maybe pushing me a little bit left, right, or whatever. I mean, certain things like that. Yeah. But I don't feel there's anything specific. I think there's a lot going on, and I'm involved in a lot of those things, and a lot of the things that are going on in the universe affect me because of, I don't know what it is, maybe the way I'm built, but the vastness of the people in my life. So I'm not, I have people in my life that are from all over the world and different religions, and I have my own religion, which is, there's a lot going on there. And but I spoke to a girl that I'm friendly with and potentially going to work with at some point that's in Ukraine the other day, and literally talking to her about that they moved to a different town because they were living on the front line, and
Oh
that
my God.
can't not affect me. Like, I mean, it can, but I mean, literally, like moving. So they have now with her husband, who was in the army, who isn't in the army now, and they moved away from the front line, so they don't really hear the bombs and stuff every 3 weeks or whatever, which she's saying like how it comes. And they're planting their own food, and they're doing things so that they'll be okay, like, and they feel better, of course. But okay, I'm not alone. There's millions of people that speak to people like that every day. But like, the average person does speak to somebody like that and has that kind of a conversation, as we then talk about what they're doing in their business and how they're making adjustments in their business and what stuff they're doing and growing and stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
and then, and there's people in Mexico, and there's people in LA, and talking about LA's dying, LA's not dying, like, and Warner Brothers buying, selling, merging. Like, it's just all this kind of stuff that's kind of affecting. So there's a part of me that feels like all this stuff has nothing to do with me at all, but somehow this stuff is all touching me for a reason. Like, I
Mhm.
could easily just say I'm going to go in one lane. This is my lane. I'm going to put everything I've got in this lane. That's it. And there's a reason that no matter what, I have these multiple lanes, and I have these multiple people, and I have these multiple situations. So I don't know that that's unique from this year. I think that's just kind of been, but I definitely feel I'm learning still learning, but I also feel as like so I feel so much more that I have to learn. Like I keep that's something I keep thinking about. Like I need to start. Like I learn every day because I learn every day just by living. But actually learning, like actually like reading certain articles that I'm not spending the time in reading, or taking a course or something. Not like a course like a school course, but like a thing where I can learn more about how the mind works, or learn even more. I mean, I know a lot about a lot of things, but I'm not a genius, or I could learn more. I know a lot about AI. I could know more. I know a lot
Hmm.
about certain things. I could know more. I know a lot about the entertainment industry. I could know more. Like there's things that I could learn more about. And do I do that? Is that something that I make the concerted effort and figure out how to block out the time? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a definitive
You
answer
know
for
what? You know what I just realized as you were talking is that the things that you do involve a lot of people. The things that I do pretty much like I've been working alone for so long. They don't really involve other people except for like here and there people who help do things on the tech side or that kind of stuff. But as a designer, I don't really utilize other people to design. I don't utilize other people to make my art. So I think that a year for me is very concentrated on me. Like I'm trying to sort through all the things in my head, which is where my work comes from. And so I just think it's different. You work differently. You working in collaboration with people all over the world. And so I guess the answer to this question is based on that in a way, because for me, this was kind of a big year for me. And I kind of I feel very excited about these little personal milestones that I think I've come to terms with in my head. And it's going to free me up to do things that I care much more about and are much more aligned with who I am now as a person.
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean, I think that's great, and obviously, this is news to the audience. It's not news to me. So,
I know.
yeah. So, I mean,
That's
I'm
who we're talking to.
right. No, I know, and I'm grateful for it. But obviously, I've been around, and I've seen the growth. I've seen the adjustments. I've seen what you've taken in, what you've done, and it didn't work, and then you tried again, and it didn't work, and then you realize, okay, I'm going to do this differently, or different things I've seen. So, getting to this place is great, because I think you are doing a lot, have been doing a lot to kind of, and I think it's a lesson for everybody. Like, that, the stuff that you've gone through, other people go through in their own way. Like, it's not exactly the same, but there's similarities. And,
Yeah.
getting to that place and cleaning things out and clearing things out, it helps you kind of get into the where you're supposed to be. So, I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, it's really the only way people can navigate transitions is if you button up something you were doing in a clean way.
Yeah.
If you like leave a mess and then you just try to work amid the mess, you don't have a good foundation.
Yeah.
And I believe so much in starting with a healthy foundation for anything that you're going to do. And so it just makes it chances of that being successful, the chances of that being fulfilling, the chances of that leading you to a place where you are glad you are spending your time and your energy doing it. Those things are really important to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally get it. I totally get it. I think it's great. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Um, So moving right along, as we're closing out the year, what would you say are things in the new year that give you hope, like either here at home or in the country, you know, country meaning U.S. of America,
Yeah.
and globally? Like, what are you seeing? Do you see things? I mean, a lot of people feel everything is very bleak and this whatever. I mean, what's your take on it? Do you see things that are kind of giving you hope and belief in the future?
I mean, there's a lot of ways you can have hope. If I were to think about I'd rather talk about what I'm hopeful about inside of me
Yeah.
and my own little microcosm, I'm very hopeful about the work that I'm doing right now in terms of my art. I'm very excited to really get into that and to have this show in February. I mean, I'm very hopeful about my art and showing my past work and also digging into the new stuff. So that part of my life is very exciting, and I'm also very I'm also very hopeful about some realizations that I've come to in this past year, and taking that realization throughout my life. I'm very excited to embark on not like a new me, but like sometimes just tweaking something, just seeing something a little bit differently really lightens your someone's energy. And so I feel very excited about that, and not to keep anyone in the dark, but we've been talking about realizing that sometimes people have narratives of you. And I haven't really carried this with me for a very long time because I just didn't understand it. And I think this past year kind of got me to a place where I understand it now. And I'm just realized that I'm done doing that. And so it just feels so freeing. So I'm excited about not worrying about that shit and trying to change other people's thoughts and narratives of me. I'm just so glad to not deal with that shit anymore. And then I would say, just like, I'm hopeful about my kids, and Allegra's got a really cool job and I'm so proud of her. And Gabby just started a new job that she's really into. And, I'm hopeful about that because these are things that weigh a parent down. You get worried about, if you're a person who like puts a lot into your kids, sometimes you're like, geez, I hope this is going to work out for them, because things are tough for young people today. I believe that. I've seen that. It's not just a belief. It's like I know so many young people, and I see the ones that are struggling, and it shouldn't be that way. And in terms of like humanity, I mean, I feel like there's hope to be had, but I think this is where I'm a little bit less optimistic, you know? I'm not going to lie because
You want a to go kit, so that's not very optimistic.
yeah, no, I hear you. I was saying, what would happen if we had a nationwide blackout? Like that was my question last night. So like,
Yeah.
maybe the humanity, country, global stuff, I'm not as like seeing a clear path of hopefulness, but I know that our world has been through so much. So I need to maybe do a little more research to get myself a little bit, on the page of being more hopeful for that.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's very easy to go down the negative route, and it's so easy to go down that the world's going to hell in a handbasket and all. I mean, it's very easy, and this past week was has just been just horrifying. Like just some of the things that have happened at just the beginning of this week alone, just they're just horrifying. Like just they're just for many people they're unimaginable. For me, I was so not surprised at any single thing that I've seen. And I keep saying that. And I promise you guys, when that day comes that something happens, I'm like, holy shit, I did not see that coming. I will tell you. I will be very honest with you. I'm not being cocky or egotistical or anything. And I don't mean it in that way that like I knew exactly this thing is going to happen at this exact time and this exact time. That's not what I'm saying. But the things that I kind of feel, I still feel that we're headed towards some more crap before it gets better. But I see a lot of signs that tell me things are going to turn. I do see things that are going. There are going to be things that are going to be very different in years to come. but it's not going to be a smooth road. And I think I just think it's just the way it is. Like, I'm not saying there's going to be a 9/11, or I'm not saying these types of things. I'm not a doomsayer. It's not my personality. I don't do that. I some people say like I'm too optimistic in some things. I think I'm incredibly realistic, and I think I'm pretty pragmatic about a lot of things. Yes, I'm optimistic too, and yes, I believe that things are possible. And I also am very realistic at how hard it is, to get people to have different thoughts and take different actions, and to realize that some of the things they're doing or saying are just wrong and bad for them and for others. Like, I realize it's not that easy. Just people don't just wake up one morning and be like, okay, I don't hate those people anymore. Like, it doesn't happen. It's not how it works.
Yeah.
So, but then again, we can all, I think everybody who's lived on this planet can look back through their life and think of something that they did that they thought was cool or fun or tasted great that they don't do, X number of years later. Like, they just don't. They don't want to do it. They don't like doing it. They don't understand how they did in the first place. So it's possible. I mean, it's life.
Yeah,
Life has
that's
proven
true.
it's possible. So,
Mhm.
you know, I think humans have to be pushed. They don't just naturally do things. They don't like change. Most humans do not like change, whatever it is, whether it's a schedule, whether it's a traffic pattern, whether it's the way something is packaged in the store that they buy. People don't. They don't. And if you tell them do this differently, it's going to be better for you. Zero, practically zero chance. Most humans change it for them. They don't have the choice, and they'll adapt at some point. So that's the kind of stuff that's happening. It's coming. It's happening. There's a lot of things that people don't aren't paying attention to. I think there's going to be some surprises globally. I think that people aren't expecting or don't believe are possible. Yeah.
Like what?
Well, if I tell you, then you won't be surprised or happy when it happens. I don't have anything very specific. I have beliefs. I have feelings. But I'm saying that full out. I think there's going to be some really bad shit's going to happen. I really do. I think some really, really stupid, really preventable things are just going to happen, and hopefully they're not horrible. And then I think they'll little by little there'll be some changes. People will make some changes because they're going to want to not live a miserable, aggressive, dangerous, unhealthy, uncomfortable life. Like, they're just going to be like, okay, I'm going to do it a little differently now. I'm either going to move from the city that I live in, or the town, or the building, or I'm going to eat something differently. Or I'm going to get along with that person who I didn't like from before. Like, I think those things will happen. I think they will happen, and it'll come from all sorts of different things. I think people will get annoyed with certain things that they've just been pushed down their throat for a while, and it's going to be 2 years,
Mhm.
3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and you're like, okay, stop. Like, I heard you, I get it, stop. Like, no more. And I
Mhm.
think that those types of things will happen, and then you'll start to see real changes. That's what I believe.
Cool. Can't wait.
We'll see. We'll see. I could be absolutely wrong. I mean, I know, that's incredibly unlikely, but I'm wrong. I am wrong every single day of the week. Seriously. Any other words of wisdom on your side from?
No, I just think that, this has been just a transformational year. And I think that we're in transition as a country, as I think the whole globe is kind of in some weird transition of like AI coming into the picture more and more. And it's going to be interesting to see what next year brings.
Yep, I think that's accurate. I think that's very accurate. Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting. And I think there's also, as always, a lot of things that are going on that nobody's talking about. Either they're not conscious of it, or they're deciding not to pay attention to it. But there's a lot of things that are coming up or about to happen, or there's things and people just don't talk about them. So we'll see where those things land.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
okay. Well, let's see what time it is. It's half past wrist. You know what that means? It's rapid fire time. Come on. girls, let's do a little rapid fire. I think next year we're going to bring out a rapid fire dance, even though this is not how I dance. But I think I'm going to do like a really quirky. I'm not going to do an Elaine dance. I'm not going to do that. But maybe I'll break out we'll switch.
I think that is how you dance.
Yeah, it's really not. But
Okay.
we'll get like different cameras, and I'll do a whole little. I'll do a little something. I'll do a little something. Something.
All right. Sounds good. I can't wait.
I bet you
Maybe
can.
a little animation, a little Jay
Little J.
Schweidman dancing all around
The Schweidman
the
dance.
screen.
The Schweidman dance did. I'm telling you, I did some damage. Did some damage.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
Yeah, it's only special occasions that I break out the Schweidman. But all right. Well, I'm gonna start us off on the rapid fire because apparently that's my job. If you could be granted one wish for humanity, what would it be and why?
One wish for humanity.
Yep.
What would change things?
It's your question, baby. You got to answer it.
I know. I know. What if we woke up one morning and people would be open to hearing another point of view?
That's the most rapidly fired answer ever. That would be amazing.
I,
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. That would be.
I mean, I'm just, this is interesting to me. Like, what would be some small thing that if
That's a big
everybody
thing,
just,
but yeah, that would be great. If you could grant that to humanity, that would be amazing.
you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. And the why is kind of obvious, right? So we don't need to force you to answer the whole question.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So another question: if you were given the
I know.
power to change the trajectory of other people's lives in a positive way with little effort,
Right.
would you? And would you expect accolades, or would you do it just for being anonymous, just for the greater good?
Well, of course I would do that. And honestly, I would want to remain anonymous.
Okay, that's fair. How many people from your past do you wish you could have some closure with, or would you prefer to just leave it the way it is? I don't think it's a
For a
fair
long,
question to say how many. Let's just say, are there people?
yes. I agree. Thank you very much. I would say there's probably a handful of people
Okay.
from my whole entire life. When I look back, different people I was really good friends with, lost track of them.
Uh-huh.
For a long time, it really bothered me. This is kind of also part of some of the things that used to really bother me. And as you know, because I would talk about it, at this stage of my life right now, I prefer to let it be. Like, I don't care anymore.
I
So if you're anyone out there who is one of these people, I don't care.
You heard it here first, boys and girls. You heard it here first. That's fabulous. That's very healthy. Very healthy.
Freedom.
All right. Cool.
All right. Okay. So let's hear from the Schweidman. I want a good answer on these too.
Am I asking myself?
If you could grant one wish for humanity, what would it be and why?
I mean, to be rapid, and I would say kindness, because I think from kindness, everything else is possible. So if
Totally.
you're kind to
Totally.
someone and someone next to you doesn't have food, you'd give them food, right? So kindness is something you can apply to anything. Kindness is, someone who's in pain, helping them, someone who's hungry, helping them, someone who doesn't have something, knowledge, you give it to them. So kindness, you're not going to fight with someone if you have kindness, right?
Okay. So I have a comment about this.
Sure.
And so there are people who are selectively kind.
That's not, that, I don't know.
That's not what you're talking
No,
about. Because I know many people,
that's
they'll be
not
kind
kindness.
to certain people.
That's not kindness.
You're talking about kindness.
Kindness isn't something kindness isn't a part-time thing.
I know.
But I'm just saying.
But there are people who do part-time kindness.
Well, but that's I don't
What is
I
that?
call bullshit on that. I don't believe that. I believe that there's
Yeah.
an ulterior motive. I don't believe that. I think kindness is something that is instinctive.
Because
It's like I'm saying. That's what I'm
I have
saying. If you give
noticed
it,
people doing
everybody had kindness. You wouldn't yell at somebody. You wouldn't fight with somebody. If you didn't understand something, you didn't disagree, you'd be kind about it. You'd work it out. You wouldn't tell them they're wrong. You would say, "Hey,
that.
I don't
Yeah.
understand. I need you to explain this to me better." You would react to every situation differently. So,
I totally get it. I
and
totally
again,
get this.
I think from kindness you can reach greatness. Like you could build a 200-story building from kindness because you could help each other. You could see the logic in it. You also wouldn't build a monstrosity that damages other people, like either through the environment or through blocking their view or whatever. You wouldn't do that because you're too kind to impact somebody else. You're like, but we're short on housing. Let's figure it out. You'd be kind enough to figure out how do I help with housing without hurting people. You would figure these things out. That's to me that's true kindness.
That would be wonderful. Okay,
I'm
so
working
let's
on it. I'm
go a
working on
step
it.
further.
Okay.
Okay, and if you were given the power to change the trajectory of other people's lives with little effort, would you do it? Would you expect accolades, or would you prefer to remain anonymous?
100% and anonymous. That's not even a hard question.
What kind of person do you think would expect accolades?
Most.
Would that be bad? I'm just
No, I
curious.
think most people want accolades. So when I say I don't want that, okay, this is going to sound so whatever. I think most people do want recognition. Okay,
It's
I
nice.
I
It's nice being
I
recognized.
I, I appreciate appreciation, but to me it stops right there. I don't need anybody to say, "Oh, you know what Jay did for me? Jay didn't do anything for you." You know what? Oh, but well, we got to give you this award. I'm good. No, no. I do it. The reward, the accolade, is that whatever I did worked. That's it. That's it. I don't want anything else. I don't need anything else. I don't. That's me. That's me. I'm not saying I'm right. I have friends. Some of the people that you know, they love. They love when they go someplace and everybody says, "Oh my God, it's so and so. Oh my God, you're so great," and they love it. They're in constant smile. They live for it. They specifically go places, consciously or unconsciously, that they will get accolades. They are. It makes
Is that dopamine
and
hit?
it makes them do more, which is
Mhm.
great. Which is
Mhm.
great. That's just not me. That's just
Yeah.
not me. That's not, I'm going to go and I'm going to do, and that's it. And
Right.
I'm out. Stage left. See you later.
There is this philosophy that when you do something, it's not necessarily you doing it. It's this higher power doing it through you. You're the vessel
Sure.
for love to come through,
Sure.
for kindness to come
Sure.
through. There's something very beautiful about that we're not taking full credit for what we did because something came through us and was channeled through us, like whether
Yeah. Sure.
anything
Yeah.
like
Okay.
that. Okay, so last one. How many people from your past would you like some closure with, or would you prefer to let it be?
So I have let it be with almost everybody that I would have probably been a good thing to have closure with. There definitely are some that I'll get that closure even though they're long past, but at some point I'll get that closure in the whatever in the spiritual realm. Look, I think closure is important. I think it's healthy. It's important, but I've been trained to adapt to realities of that. Sometimes you're just not going to get it. I think that for anybody, not that anybody's asking me for my advice, but I think if there's ever a chance to get closure, as uncomfortable or painful as it may be, whatever that may be, why did you break up to me with me? Well, because I don't like the way you drink your coffee. Okay, sure, but at least that's it. At least I know. At least I know. So, or whatever. I don't like the way you smell. I don't like your cologne. I don't like the way you dress. I think your eyes are crooked. Like whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. But I think not knowing, for some people, they're just spinning, and it's affecting them in such a negative way. So I think when you can have that closure, again, it might suck, but it sucks and it's over. It doesn't suck forever. But for me personally, like, yes, I could think of a lot of people that it would have been nice for this or that to happen, but it didn't happen. And there's a and I just fully buy into the fact that it didn't happen. There's a reason it didn't happen, and
Yeah.
this is what's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be that didn't have closure, and that has taught me something to do something else, and I'm okay with it. I don't carry that around with me, and yeah, I'm good. I'm good with the way it was. But as a general rule, I think it's better to have closure. I think it's better. I think it's better
Yeah.
whenever possible. I think it's better to have it.
Yeah, no, I think that's true, but if you're carrying, stuff around, I mean, I don't know. I guess for me, I've just finally come to a place where like I'm done worrying about that stuff.
I think that's healthy. I think that's healthy. Like I said, when you're just not going to get it, you know, to keep trying, it's
Yeah.
pointless. It's
Yeah. And that's only hurting you.
yeah, yeah. So okay, well, that was fun. Was it fun?
It was,
Was it fun for you too?
it was so much fun.
Okay, relax. Anyway, so I guess this is our last episode for the year. So that's kind of cool, like that we made it through made it through the year. So for everybody that's tuned in, thank you. We really appreciate it. We hope you'll continue to do it into the new year. We have so many new and exciting things coming your way. We will have some new exciting things, not the first of the year though. But we are thinking about and different ideas and what we can do to even make it better and hopefully more entertaining and more informative. And as always, if you guys have ideas, if there's any suggestions, if there's anything we could do to be better, please let us know. And yeah, I just want to wish everybody happy New Year, and I hope everybody is healthy and has the best lives they can have, and be kind to one another and enjoy and be merry and ho 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 and schmo 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 and.
Yeah. We're sending you guys all our best.
Yes. Well, not all. That's not all.
All our
No, not
best.
all. No, I've got to send some to somebody else, and if I give it all to these guys, it's not fair. But most of our best to you and all you love, and we will see you in the new year. Bye.